Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahai, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only God's son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. The bonus to the apostles and the bishop and elders, great millstone, who well, who teach well, whether apostles and elders of all Israel, ready accepted or not. In the sincere salutation to all the ark and pushing this truth and believing this truth with the full winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening learning, you few sisters who are listening learning. Coming into the lesson, the true facts, faith, and edification of the day of edification, Lord, was be edifying. So I'll title this lesson. It's going to be part 2, Thus saith the Lord. And everything that's going on in the earth, dealing with prophecy of Yahweh Shema Shah, was planned. It was all planned. Everything that's going on, dealing with these so-called bank bailouts and these train derailments and everything that's going on the earth, it all contains to prophecy. It was written in the scriptures a time ago. And these are the times for these prophecies to be filtered through the scriptures. Everything that's going on in the news was already written a time ago. For this time now to be filtered through the scriptures, to warn the people to repent, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. To warn the people to repent, Lord willing, you'll have a covering. So I just want to make some points. Thus saith the Lord. This is Isaiah 58:1. It reads, cry loud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. So this is to warn Jake of the dangers that's on the way. And these prophecies is moving quickly. The things that's going on right now, dealing with the elites, your rulers, was all planned out. Everything was already planned. And they have an agenda. It's called problem, reaction, solution. And it used to be Agenda 21. Now they have Agenda 2030. They have everybody tracked. Carbon footprint, smart cities, smart homes, smart cars, smart people, which all has to do with the CHIP, the MOTB. This was all planned out. And these plans is from the Heavenly Father Yahweh. The plans that's being played out on earth, the so-called white man is pushing, all their agendas was already planned out. This is the work of the Heavenly Father Yahweh through his only God's son Yahweh Shah. And he's using the so-called white man to do it. Because 2/3 of Jake have to be destroyed. We were sent here for a punishment and a correction. 2/3 would not be corrected. It wasn't written. It wasn't written in this movie for them to receive correction. This was for the hopeful elect, whomever they are, the predestinated ones, to return back to Yahweh Shema Shah through being chastened. The 2/3 was never going to come back. It was always about the hopeful elect returning to the Lord. But they had to be punished and then receive correction through being punished. As I tell you in Jeremiah 5:3, as a matter of fact, let me get that. So again, Isaiah 58:1 it reads, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions in the house of Israel, in the house of Jacob their sins. But this is about warning the people of the dangers that's coming and to seek the Lord for a covering. But the only ones who's going to do this is the hopeful elect, the predestinated ones, whomever they are. This is Jeremiah 5:3. O Yahweh, are not thy eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them. He's stricken all of us, but they have not grieved. Who are not grieving? 2/3, because they good here. Jake just want to continue living in captivity with some better perks, man. But they have not grieved. That has consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. Therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of Yahweh, nor the judgment of their power. See, these are foolish. 2/3 of Jake, and what Paul said. Let me read this in 1 Corinthians. I used to bring this out a lot. It's been a minute. I brought it out the other week at camp, last week, I think. 1 Corinthians 4:21. This is the Lord speaking. It's 1 Corinthians 4:21. What will ye? Shall I come unto you with a rod, or in love and in the spirit of meekness? See, the Lord said, what will ye? Shall I come unto you with a rod, or in love and in the spirit of meekness? And the Lord came to us with a rod. What happened? Again, Jeremiah 5:3. O Yahweh, are not thy eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. This being stricken and consumed, is this not with a rod of the Lord? And they still won't receive correction. So what's left for Jake? As Nahal always said, the head brother of the camp, the Lord gonna have to visit Jake with violence. Jake only understands violence, man. So, seeing they have been stricken and consumed, and they still refuse to return, the only thing is left is violence, man. They have made their faces harder than a rock. What can you do with a slow-bellied nigga who face harder than a rock? His mind, his whole mindset is harder than a rock. What can you do? You got to get a hammer. You got to get a hammer, man. They have refused to return. Again, 1 Corinthians 4:21, Paul said, what will you? Shall I come to you with a rod, or in love and in the spirit of meekness? What's left? There's nothing left for Jake but a hard judgment, man. Because the Lord has been coming to us in love, in meekness, and they refuse to receive correction. So the only thing left for them is to get put to death grievously, man. This is Joel. Jake, man, but the Lord said it. The Lord said it, man. They are stiff-necked, man. But we are here in Ecclesiastes 17:18. The Lord say, He nourished us with discipline, right? The hopeful elect is being nourished with discipline. As a matter of fact, let me get this in Proverbs. In Proverbs 3:11. Let's read this first. It reads, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. See, the Lord tried to correct 2/3 as well as the 1/3, but they refused to receive correction. Even though it's already was written, they ain't gonna receive correction. But this is the Lord extending his mercy, man. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. See, was that in Sirach it say, a man that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, right? So the Lord is showing the hopeful elect the way back. Oh, in Jeremiah, let's get this. I'll make this point. In Jeremiah 24, I love to bring this out, man. predestinated from the beginning. That was always 1/3 and 2/3, man. Those 2/3 that fell in the hole, that fell in when the ground opened up with Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, man. It said 250 people, man, and their cattle. That was 2/3 crew, man. When you read in Numbers 25, when the Lord told Moses to hang the heads of all these jakes that follow after Baal Peor, those are 2/3, man. Them slow-bellied niggas that was complaining in the wilderness why the Lord brought them out of Egypt and they was crying for the food, and the Lord told Moses, I'm finna rain down quail and let everybody gather for their tents. And it said those that gathered too much or thought they had enough, they didn't have enough. But those that only gathered a little, they had enough for their tents. So the ones that thought they had gathered a whole bunch, that was the 2/3 crew, man. And what happened? The Lord said he had an equality that came out of their ears, man. 2/3 niggas, man. This is Jeremiah 24:1. The Lord showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs. The Lord showed me 2 baskets, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes of Judah, with the carpenters and smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. 1 basket had very good figs. This is the whole select, the predestinated, 1/3. Even like the figs that are first ripe, the first fruits. And the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten. They were so bad. Then said Yahweh unto me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, figs. The good figs, very good, and the evil figs, very evil. They cannot be eaten. They are so evil. So it's always been a 1/3 and a 2/3, man. Let me get this one in Jeremiah 29. This is Jeremiah 29 and 17, I think. It reads, thus saith Yahweh hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. Why? They are so evil. So it always has been a 1/3 and a 2/3, man. Always. So let's go back to this Joel 2. And the Lord said to blow the trumpet to warn the whole elect, man, of what's coming. So they'll be built up and ready, man. Be total numb to when Jacob trouble happen. This is Joel 2:1. It said a terrible visitation. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. So when I read Isaiah 58:1, it said, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. We don't need no microphone with no speaker, man. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. They say, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, which represent the elected Israel, the holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. See, this is about blowing a trumpet. This is 1 Corinthians 14:7. Now, just finna read, you have been given a certain sound, man. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 7, it reads, and even things without life give sound, giving sound, whether piped or harp. And what it saying in Isaiah 11:14? We have piped unto you, but they have not danced. Matter of fact, let's hold that. What was that, Matthew? 11 and 14, I think. Let me just double check. No, what is that? Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to this. So this 1 Corinthians 14:7, and even things without life, giving sound, whether piped or harped, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or heart. There was different type of trumpets blown. If it was the enemy coming, or it was different type of feast, different trumpets blown, like for the new moon, for festival days, high holy days, different type of trumps was blown. This trump that's being blown now is for the enemy is coming, okay? And they're about to come in like a flood. And even things without life-giving sound, whether piped or harped, except they give a distinction in the sound, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, which the other camps is doing, these other camps is giving you that uncertain sound. Because they ain't telling you about prophecy. Who shall prepare himself to the battle? So if somebody not telling you that Jacob's trouble is approaching, what are you gonna be doing? Living in mirth, partying, and playing, just like Jake did in Exodus 32, in verse 6, verse 5 and 6, when Moses went to go get the laws from the Lord. You say Jake rose up, baked cakes, right? Played instruments and rose up to play, man. They say, if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So going back to this right here, say, whether pipe the harp. How shall it be known what is pipe the harp? This is Matthew 11. In verse 16 it reads, but whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, saying what? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The so-called white man is about to come down with great wrath. All these pestilences and these calamities, these prophecies going on, the Lord is using these devils to do it. And this is to give warning to the hopeful elect, but to the 2/3, they blind. It's for them to keep living in mirth until they be dying, until they have lost uh their life grievously, man. And saying, we have piped unto you. We keep the same thing over and over, repetition of Father's skill. We keep going over and over and over and over, same precepts. So now this is becoming boring to most of the peoples out there, man. It's boring. Well, it ain't boring, man. And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. So what Jake doing? Mirth, man. But you have been warned. This is Ezekiel. It said they have not been prepared for the battle, man. In Ezekiel, this is Ezekiel 7:14. And this is thus saith the Lord, man. And what the Lord told Ezekiel, he said, they ain't gonna listen to you because they didn't listen to me. This is Ezekiel 7:14. They have blown the trumpet. Who? The men of the Lord. Okay? The mouthpiece of Yahweh Shemavashah. Star of the apostles, great millstone. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready. All, but none go up to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. See? The Lord say, even to make all ready. But 2/3 is going out to the battle, man. So the Lord's wrath is upon the 2/3, man. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. This is Ezekiel. Let's get this. Ezekiel 13. Ezekiel 13:5, it reads, dealing with these false prophets. And then you got these ones that's out there. They don't teach in the code, right? What it say in Proverbs, the slug will not plow by the reason of the cold. A lot of these groups don't even go out when it's cold out there, man. So they say, you have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedges. And this also applies to them that's not giving you 100% truth, man. Okay? It's talking about going to the highways and hedges, but it also applies to them that's not giving you 100% truth, man. You have not gone up into the gaps. They don't want to talk about the narrow, the roughness of the scriptures. They just want to give you the sweet. What the scriptures say, Lamentation, mournings, and woes. It's bitter and sweet. It ain't just sweet. It ain't just bitter. It's both. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge. For what? For the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. They ain't doing it, man. Well, the Lord say they have blown a trumpet, even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. What are they looking for? Matthew 16. Jake looking for a sign. Well, the sign is here, man. The sign is the messengers that's giving you sound doctrine. This is Matthew 16:4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas, and he left them and departed. This sign, let me show it to you. Isaiah 13:2. The sign has been here since Elder Abba Bivens, man. This is Isaiah 13:2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. What banner? The sign. Exalt the voice unto them. See, lift up your voice like a trumpet. This is the sign, man. This is the banner. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. See, there's a standard being lifted up, man. And it's for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians to return to Yahweh Shema Shai, or you're going to die a grievous death. That's it. There is no in between, man. Let me get this. In Proverbs 29:26, it reads, and this is the problem, because Jake trusts in oppression, as it said in Isaiah 30:12. 2/3 of our people love this government, this system. This is the land of the free and home of the brave, the land of milk and honey. Lies. You was lied to, man. Proverbs 29:26. Many seek the ruler's favor. Huh? Say what, Lord? Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from the Lord. So why are you seeking the so-called white man's validation when his judgment is coming from the Lord, just like yours is? In Jeremiah 2:33. Many seek the favor, many seek the ruler's favor, man. For what? But that's 2/3. Now we know these devils is nothing. They are nothing worth. They are dirt on the bottom of your shoe, man. Nothing. Jeremiah 2:33. Why do many seek the ruler's favor? Why? You may ask. Right here. Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? From who? The rulers. Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Big Mama and them taught us this madness, this garbage. What we do? We teach it to our kids. We grow up, learn. You have kids, you teach it to your kids. The same thing was taught to you from the plantation to now, man. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? From who? The rulers. Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Now you're teaching to your kids. And we be here another 200 years, your kids gonna teach it to their kids. And it's gonna be a world full of alphabets and killers. Again, Proverbs 29:26. Many. What's many? This is the masses. The many, this is the masses of Israelites. 2/3 slow-bellied niggas. Many seek the ruler's favor. Why? Because they done trim their way to seek love. Why? Because of what? Those benefits that come from the Lord anyway. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Now what say ye to that? But you have been warned, man. You have been warned. This is thus saith the Lord, man. Ephesians 5. This is thus saith the Lord, man. Number 2. See then that ye walk circumspectly. Circum is around. Spectly means to watch your surroundings. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore, be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. What's the will of the Lord? To warn the sheep of danger. To warn the sheep of danger. To pray to Yahweh Shema Shah, to increase your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, to strengthen you to endure to the end, till you get beaten up into a chariot, Lord willing. What's the will of the Lord? Feeding the sheep, man. Staying diligent, praying constantly, continually, taking Ephesians 5 and 2. Our prayers is a sweet savor to the Lord, man, through Yahweh Shah. Your prayer is key, man. You can never pray to the Lord enough, man. He said, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And it said, be not unwise. What it tell you in Psalms 19 and 7, it said the Lord made wise the simple through the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Through the rehearsing of the Lord, through the rehearsing, the righteous acts of the Lord, it has made us wise, man. We were some simple, slow-bellied niggas in the world, man, bugged out. And the Lord put you on this path, man, this highway to heaven boulevard, man. Lord willing, we continue and endure, man. But being circumspect and watching your surroundings, this is what watchmen do. This is what watchmen do. But then you got some guys that want to go high above the watchmen, like they on some level. I can tell you in Sirach 37. Was it Sirach 37 and 14? It says a man's mind sometimes want to tell him more than 7 watchmen. So you got these guys want to come and tell you like they know more than the apostles know. Like they know more than the elder bishops. Like they know more than the elders. And they don't know nothing, man. What we see is you go to the slow belly nigga channel, he don't got no works. He ain't in the highways and hedges. He don't got no videos. He ain't doing nothing but talking trash, but they know more than the apostles, elder bishops, and elders, man. A man's mind is sometimes want to tell him more than, than 7 watchmen. 7 is completion. So if your mind want to tell you more than what men that done put in the work for 35 plus years, you know that nigga throw it off. Now in Ezekiel 3, I want to get this, because Yahweh mentioned this, which is all Yahweh Shah, because the words of Yahweh is Yahweh Shah. But this is Ezekiel 3. And if we reading this for somebody that's new in the faith, we might say, oh, these are the words of Yahweh, right? In the Old Testament. These are the words of Yahweh, right? Well, this is Yahweh Shah, man. All day, every day, 24/7, man. From the front, from Genesis to Revelation, these is, hey, it's the words of Yahweh, which is Yahweh Shah, man. He comes in the volume of the book. So I'm going to make 2 points real quick. It say, Ezekiel 3, in verse 7, it reads, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. Right? So here is, we're going to say this is Yahweh, right? This is Yahweh telling Ezekiel, which is Yahweh Shah. But we're going to say this Yahweh talking to Ezekiel, right? He said, what? But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, but they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. Watch what Yahweh Shah say. The same thing in John. This is John 15 and 18. Same thing. It reads, John 15, 18. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they would keep yours also. Same thing is said in Ezekiel 3. You see it? Hold on. I got one more. In Exodus, in Exodus 15, look here, a little excited here. In Exodus 15 and 3, thus saith the Lord, the Lord Yahweh is a man of war. The Lord is his name. What comes with a man of war? Sword, right? If the Lord is a man of war, what comes with being a man of war? Body armor, right? Shields, swords, spears, daggers, body armor, right? The Lord is a man of war. Well, what did Yahweh say in Matthew 10 and 34? Let's read it. Thus saith the Lord, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a what? But a sword. Hold on. When you go to Revelation chapter 1 and 13, what did the Lord have on? He had on he had on body armor, man. This Revelation 1 and 13. In the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. For what? What's a golden girdle for? Hold on. Golden girdle. This is around the midsection, right? Hold on. In Daniel's, this is Daniel's uh chapter 10. It's been a minute since I brought this out. Daniel 10 and 5. It reads, Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, with what? Whose loins were girded with fine gold of Euphrates. For what? This is about war, man. Okay? Whose body also is like the beryl, which is the color green, beryl is, and his face has the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. In the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. So here it is. The Lord had on war armor, man. Why? Because he's about his father's business. And this is just, I was just meditating on, we here to warn you, man. The Lord gave us a spirit to warn you of what's coming. And everything that happened in the earth was already planned, man. The so-called white man planned all these things out, man. Everything is planned out. Well, the Lord gave them the blueprint, just like the Heavenly Father Yahweh gave Yahweh Shah the blueprint, and Yahweh Shah and the angels created the earth. Well, the Lord gave the so-called white man the blueprint, how to do things in the earth, man. Okay, pertaining to them destroying themselves, man, with intercontinental ballistic missiles. With this devil is his people eating GMO foods too, man. The so-called white man got his people eating GMO food as well, man. Show you he's not fit to rule. He don't even care about his own people. Well, it's a scripture that say, um, it's in Proverbs. I forgot where it's at right off, but it say, if the ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Let me see if I can get it. It reads, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Let's see if I can find it here. Bear with me. These devils was made to destroy the earth, man, and to make 2/3 of Jake go off. I'm gonna look at my phone. See if I can find it real quick. Maybe it's in 29. Hold on, bear with me. Maybe in 27 somewhere. Here it is. Proverbs 29 and 12. It reads, if a ruler hearkeneth to lies, all his servants are wicked, man. See? So what is that? That was Proverbs 29 and 26. That's crazy. Both of these in the same chapter. It makes sense now. Proverbs 29 and 26. Many seek the ruler's favor. Why? Because you have your father the devil, man. And the lust of your father you will do. It just makes sense when you read these scriptures. Many shall seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from the Lord. So the so-called white man can't save you. Oh, what is that? Oh, gotta get it. Psalms, I think it is 49. The so-called white man can't save you. He can't even save himself. Right. Psalms 49 and 6. It say, they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. Where is this guy Evelyn Rothschild at? Who look like Uncle Sam, which is your boy from Wizard of Oz that was behind the curtains. That was Evelyn Rothschild. Where he back at now? Hey, he back in the spiritual realm. All the resources, because you can't put a number on resources because they own all the resources. So the Oppenheimers and the Rothschilds, as Apostle Boss goes into all the time, that you had the Oppenheimers, then the Rothschilds. So all the resources that the Oppenheimers and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Binderberg, the Gettys and these different families got, right. These DuPonts and Gettys, they can't say they self. What David Rockefeller at back in the spiritual realm? He'd had over 7 heart transplants, man, and the Lord still called him home, man. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. So why is Jake seeking the ruler's favor when they can't say they selves, man? Again, Proverbs 29:26. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. But you still got Jake cleaving to these devils, man. And tell you what's that, Psalm 16:11, I think it is. It said, vain, it said, give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. He can't say you. They're gonna be trying to say they self, man. And they tell you in Amos 9, the Lord said you're gonna cut all them in the head. Though they dig into hell, which is their bunkers, though they climb to the top of Carmel, which is their mountain retreats, though they climb up to heaven, which is a space station, they say though they go into the bottom of the sea in their $1 billion sub yachts, the Lord's gonna get them all, man. See, one thing we know for a fact is these devils can't leave Earth. They never left Earth. They never been to the moon. They can't get past the radiation belt, right? So what they gonna do? They're gonna try to hide from the Lord, man. And see, that's why these devils think they slick. They got the 6th branch of the military, right? To fight, to so-called fight Yahweh Shai and the angels when they return. Which the scripture say they're gonna do it. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them because they're gonna be terrified. But the Lord gonna put the spirit on them to do it anyway. You know, I think about, you know why these devils watching when Yahweh Shai return? Because they're gonna try to run and hide, get into the bunkers. And that's why the Lord gonna put the spirit on the fight, because they're gonna you ever saw if you ever watch Tweety Bird and what's this cartoon is Tom and Jerry, right? When every time the bulldogs get up on him, he just turns straight white. That's Esau, man. That comes from fear, right? That's that fear. That's why the Lord say Israel should not wax pale. Meaning we ain't gonna be fear no more. Because 2 Timothy 1:7, the Lord said he ain't get us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind, right? So ain't gonna be no more fear in us from fearing the so-called white man. See, they fear the Lord. So their whole point This is just me speaking as a man. They got the space station set up so they can watch when Yahweh shall return, so they can go run their demon asses into them bunkers, man. Get into they $1 billion sub yachts and try to go into the bottom of the ocean, man. Or go to the space station. That's why they're trying to keep watch on Yahweh Shai and the angels, because they asses gonna try to find an escape route. And guess what, Jake? All you that love the so-called white man, he's gonna leave you. You ain't going with him. What is it? Revelations 5. What is that? Isaiah what is that? Isaiah 2. Hold on. So you got Isaiah 2. Let's get it real quick. I ain't want to make this too long. I just want to thus saith the Lord, man. But think about this now. These devils are terrified, man. I think it's Isaiah 2. It's Isaiah 2. Yeah. Let's read this. There's one in Revelation 5. They're gonna tell the rocks to fall on them. That's talking about the caves. They're gonna have when they say, see, this is in parables. If you don't understand it, you're gonna be lost. Ain't no rocks gonna fall on nobody, man. That's talking about them going into them bunkers, man. Going into the mountains. Says Isaiah 2:19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth. Why? For the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. This is when Yahweh shall return. See, when he arrived to shake terribly the earth. So they watching, they got the space force, so they can watch the Lord when he returns, so they can take their demon asses and run into them bunkers, man. Is in verse 21, it reads, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the top of the ragged rocks and the mountain retreats for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he arises to shake terribly the earth. See, this is why. Let's get this one. I think it's Revelations 5. Let's see. This is why they're watching for the Lord, man. I think it's 5 and 16. Let's see. I think it is. Maybe. No, ain't no 16. So maybe it's let me see. Right here. 6 and 15. It say Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men. See? And every bondman, here the low levels, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, close the door. If you ever watched this last not last, but the what's his Terminator, the Rise of Skynet, when John and the one girl went into the mountain, into the to that one mountain, and the drone, this guy, the Terminator came for him. They tried to close the door down on that bunk, on that place they had carved out in the mountain, and it say follow, it say, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? See, it say, and who shall be able to stand? Hold on, two precepts I just thought about. Who shall be able to stand? Isaiah. This is Isaiah 33 and 14, right? Here's one. Let me get this other one. Let me hold it before I forget. Lamentation. Who shall be able to stand? Lamentations. What is that? I'm sorry. Malachi. Slakia. Malachi. Malachi 3 and 2. Watch this. This is Isaiah 33 and 14. It reads, the sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness has surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? Who? Malachi 3 And 2 it reads, but who may abide the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like full of soap. Who gonna be able to do this? The Lord said it, man. In Psalms 65 and 4, it reads, thus saith the Lord, blessed is the man whom thou choosest, and causeth to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple. By terrible things in righteousness wilt thou answer us, O power of our salvation, who are the confidence of all the ends of the earth, and of them that are far off upon the sea. So the last one I want to get is Psalms 94 and 16. Thus saith the Lord, man. Lord willing, we be of those men. Psalm 94 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? These men whom the Lord have chosen, man. Lord willing, we be of that number that endure to the end. Because judgment is coming, man. Judgment is coming. And everything that's going on in the earth is for the whole flesh to see it, be terribly afraid of the Lord, man, and repent, man. Because the Lord is moving, man. Things is happening. And everything is already predestinated. Everything was already written. The Lord just had to set up men to filter everything that goes on in the news, everything that's going on in the world, which is all prophecy. The Lord had to set up men to filter it through the scriptures so we'll understand this is the Lord working in the earth and been working, man. The Lord said in Obadiah, let's get this. Obadiah, you can go look this up just like we did. In Obadiah 1, is Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart, matter of fact, let's read the top so I can show you who it's talking about. This is about Edom. Edom will be humbled. Okay? Edom will be humbled. This is verse 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Talking about the so-called white man, the rulers. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Just read one in the song in Isaiah 2 and 21 and in Revelation 6. Talking to these Edomites, because they come from the caves. The word Caucasian literally means cave dweller. Go look it up. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. Don't worry, we'll wait. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. So now their caves have turned into skyscrapers now. Okay? Penthouses, whose habitation, see, is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Look at this, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, his planes, helicopters, his jets, his rockets, his space station, right? His technology, his wisdom, right? And though thou set thy nest among the stars. What's the nest? The space station. Where is it at? It can never reach by the star because the stars are millions and millions of ways away. When you look up, look close at night, but they are so far away. But he has set his nest among the stars, his space station. Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. When did the so-called white man set his nest among the stars? In the 60s, man. 1969 to be exact, if you go to Google and look it up. Or you can go to DuckDuckGo or whatever site you search off. 1969 was the beginning of this. Roundabout, give or take. When did the Lord put this spirit, this truth in the earth? Roundabout the 40s and the 50s, hit hard in the 60s, in the 70s. Elder Abba Bivens, man. The Lord said, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, this will I bring thee down. So the so-called white man's rulership began to crumble in the 60s, man, when this truth hit hard, man. Because the elder Our Business was with this group called Commandment Keepers for a while. And then he broke away from them. So things got hot and heavy in the 60s with this truth into the 70s. This when the so-called white man's rulership began to fall, man. You know how much things has been going on in the earth since the 60s, man? And even in 1929, they crashed in 1929, man. These Great Depressions. They had many other crashes after that, man. But in the 60s, when these devils set their space station up, this when these devils start to fall, man. You know how many prophecies, you know how much things been happening in the earth, man? It wasn't earthquakes that's going on today, was going on back then, man. The Lord had to set up men to filter everything that's been going on through the scriptures, man. So now we here today watching this devil kingdom fall as lightning, man. Thus saith the Lord. So Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rekah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishop, and elders, a great millstone, rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, already accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the arguing, pushing this truth and believing this truth towards the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Agwath who are listening, learning. You for sisters who are listening, learning. Remember, these devils is watching for when Yahweh shall return so they can go and hide. Because they don't got nowhere else to go, man. See, it's from going into power. It's from going to where they living at right now in their palaces on 150 acres of land with no houses around them for hundreds of miles to in chains. What would you do if your next move is to be in chains? What would you do? I'll try to run and hide too. I'll set up something too to be watching for when the Messiah return with the angels. I would too if I had the money. I'll set up something too to watch. Let us know when you see him get 50 miles out. Let us know. Let's close this precept. This is Bayan Yashala. Amos 9:1. Listen, if I had the bag, I would try to hide too, man. Let me know when he get close so we can dip out. They can't go nowhere. That's how cold the Lord is, man. The Lord gave the so-called white man this little measly realm to rule, and he can't leave it. He can't escape from it. His rulership is his demise. That's cold, man. Amos 9:1. But young Yasharala. Hey, and shalom to all the argument off on the coming board tuning in. Yabba Shema Shah Brakathum. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar. Now again, what's the altar? North America, Babylon the Great, first and foremost, and the land of Israel. Altar represents something that's getting sacrificed. What is it in Isaiah 34? That Basra shall be a sacrifice. A great slaughter in the land of Idumea, in the land of Babylon the Great, and Israel is going to be a great sacrifice. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door that the post may shake and cut them in the head. What head? The 7-head, 10-horn Edomite beast system. All of them. And I, who? I, thus saith the Lord, will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away. See, even though they run to these bunkers, even though they get into these billion-dollar sub yachts they got, even though they go into the mountains, they go to the space station. And I keep telling Jake, if you watch the movie Geostorm, it's a good movie. Watch the movie Geostorm. The space station is humongous, man. It's like a resort up there, man. Okay? The space station is a resort, man. Go watch the movie Geostorm, you'll see. And they also show you the World Wide Web too, man, around the earth. How they got all these satellites connected, and it look like a real spider web, man. Go watch the movie. They got like that for real, man. And I will say the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away. Why? Because they're going to go into the bunkers, and they tell you in Isaiah 24, that's going to be their prison. They're going to go into these mountains. That's going to be their prison. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. And it said, though they dig into hell, they deep underground military bunkers, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, that's the space station, thence will I bring them down. And though They hide themselves in the top of Carmel. Carmel is mountains. I will search and take them out thence. And these devils got mountains carved out. They have a seed bank with over 30 million seeds in it. Go look that up. 30 million seeds. They have a thing called an ark. They right now they have two of every animal cuffed away for when they go and hide from the Lord, man. They got two of every animal. They got all these 30 million seeds, right? Real. They don't got no organic seeds, real seeds. See, they took all the real seeds and gave us GMO garbage. You want to grow some, you want to grow your garden, you got GMO seeds, man. The real seed, they got them cuffed away so they think they're going to be able to rise out of the ashes like the phoenix bird. Lies. You going to slavery, boy. It's a, and though they hide themselves into the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they hide themselves from my sight in the bottom of the sea. What is this talking about? During the time of Amos, what is it talking about hide themselves in the bottom of the sea? You can't swim down there and hide. So what's going to happen? Show you this for our time right now, because now these devils have they call them $1 billion sub yachts. Go to YouTube and type it in and see the images, the pictures. And though they hide themselves and though they hide from my sight in the bottom of the sea, the Lord is cold, man. This will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Hold on, what serpent you say? Well, let's see. What serpent? Thus saith the Lord. Hold on. In Psalms, let me get it. Let's close with this. In Psalms 104, what is that? Let me see here. In Psalm 104, hold on, right here. Psalm 104 and verse, let's start at 24, right? It say, O Yahweh, how manifold are thy works, and wisdom has thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. What? So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable. And Esau have seen none of, he only seen a portion of the Lord's animals that's in the ocean, the beasts in the ocean, man. Both small and great. They got a movie out, it's called Underwater. Underneath, I think it is, I think it's called Underneath. Man, when you watch the movie, how they got they got this station like 7 miles under the ocean. Listen, they show in the movie this humongous Leviathan, man. And the Leviathan sent out in the movie, sent out a whole bunch of small Leviathans. It's a good movie. Came out about a year or two ago. It's a there go the ships that go to the Titanic. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. So who took down the Titanic? It was Leviathan. It wasn't no iceberg, man. That's lies, man. Again, Psalm 104 and 25. So is this great and wide sea, wherein all things creeping innumerable. And they showed you in the movie Meg when they went down and went past this little cloud, and look, and this big shark followed them back up there, man. Showing you that it's things down that the Lord don't want Esau to see, man. They'll never get to see none of this, man. They trying to make submarines to go to the depths of it, but they can't because the Lord got there for the elect to go down there and see all that stuff, man. That ain't for Esau, man. The same way they can't get to the bottom of the oceans, they can't get outside of earth, man, because it's not for them. This is their realm to rule in wickedness. They can't get past their realm, man. That's it. It's a great go fix. Remember that. That's a great go fix. They can't go from hence to there. We can't go from there to hence, man. Okay, what's for Esau is not for Israel. The Lord made them carnal. He made us spiritual. Earth is their realm, but and there's millions of galaxies out there, man. And this guy Neil deGrasse Tyson, he say the universe is constantly expanding. Why? Yahweh Shah said his father's house is many mansions. Where's Yahweh's house at, man? We can't even fathom that, man. It's so is this great and wide sea, where all things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. So the Lord say, though they hide from my sight in the sea, this will I command a serpent, and he shall bite them. What serpent? Leviathan. Where do you think they get the movie Godzilla from? Where does Godzilla come from? Out the water. Why? Because Esau know these scripts, man. Yeah, underwater. That's it. Underwater. That's what it's called. Yeah, good movie, man. So yeah, man. These devils, they threw, man. And Jake, fear these devils, man. Oh, whoever this is, the Shana Wallace, just to give you a heads up, there is no U in Quadash. It's just Qadash. Quadash. There's no U in Quadash. So just a heads up on that. So yeah, Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Oh, there's no U's in Hebrew. That's what I was gonna say. There are no U's in Hebrew, Yeshana Wallace. So all praise to Yahweh Shema Shah. The honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, breaking accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Ark and pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world. I gotta stop saying waking up the whole elect. We don't wake up nobody. But the Lord putting the spirit on to shed light to the whole elect. And to you Akwath, who are listening and learning in all humbleness. Hey, to you I say shalom. Again, throughout for tuning in, may Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Wah, a bar,